Good morning, everybody, from Manatee Beach in Anna Maria Island, which is right next to the city of Bradenton, Manatee County, Florida. We're at the main pavilion right now, and it appears that red tide is not a huge factor out here how it is in Sarasota. You've got a lot more people than were out at Lido Beach in Sarasota recently. It seems like they got a lot more people at the parking garage at the restaurant here. It seems like a lot more people out here. You can definitely see like a lot of people sitting in their chairs and everything. It's funny how everybody's spread out along the water. We'll go down there and look down there. Yeah, so I wouldn't say the beach is jam-packed. Probably this time of year, there's probably a lot more people out here. It's just funny how everybody's kind of lined up right along the shore, almost in a straight line coming down. There's really like nobody behind a certain area. I don't know, it just seems funny to me how people aren't spread out. Maybe it's because they have rental chairs or something. You see how everybody is sort of in alignment here? It's kind of in a straight line down the beach. I think maybe people have rented chairs and that's why but there are a few people that kind of stray out. Some people in the water out here. So I was out at Lido, I think on Friday, which was about 2 days ago. It was pretty nasty, very brown. And you can immediately see a difference out here as far as the red tide. The water is actually green and fairly clear. If you look right here, fairly, seems a lot cleaner to me. There's people out here in the water right out here. And it's a good sign. If it doesn't smell right away and there's people in the water, that usually seems like a good sign that people are not bothered, that the algae is not super concentrated out here. So in Sarasota, where I live, the algae levels were so high, they basically closed a lot of the pools at the beach, at Lido Beach, and Longboat Beach too, which is not too far from here. They actually closed it for swimming. And there was like very few people out at the beach, and there was a lot of fish. So we're looking at the sand here, and we're not really seeing much. Okay, there's one little tiny fish right where my shoe is right there. One little tiny fish. But I don't smell any odor. That's usually if you got dead and decaying fish. So I don't know if they're out here with that beach rake. They have like a tractor that rakes the sand. I don't see any marks. So maybe this area of Anna Maria hasn't been affected as bad as the Sarasota areas, but it is affecting basically hundreds of miles of beach from Marco Island, which is like the very southern tip of Florida where people inhabit, to I think way up in Clearwater and north of there they've been having sightings. So this is basically the worst red tide outbreak that we've had in, I don't know, I'd say probably my lifetime, because it started in about the beginning of August. So like I said, water looks pretty good out here. So if you're planning on coming out for vacation, this is looking pretty good. It does shift from week to week, and it's just, you just have to look on the internet for constant updates. But like I said, out here it looks pretty good. I don't see any dead sea life. I don't smell anything. People out in the water out here, which is a really good sign. And you know, the beach is fairly clean because I don't see any, you know, dead crabs or dead fish, with the exception of that one little tiny fish. I'm not really seeing much out here in the way of dead fish. You know, from time to time, even when there is no red tide, sometimes you'll see crabs washed up, or fish occasionally wash up on the beach. I mean, that's just how nature works. But out here, it's looking pretty good. I was really expecting it to be a lot worse. Oh, somebody lost their umbrella over there. The air smells fairly clean. No signs of you know, you can have red tide out in out offshore and not really have it affect, depending on which way the wind is blowing. It doesn't affect you as much. If it's an easterly when it blows offshore, it's not as bad. But when the wind's blowing onshore like normally, that's when I think you get to have problems. Like I said, the business is not up to normal business. There's not as many tourists out here and people enjoying the beach as there would be normally. There'd probably be people out here with the volleyball, you know, playing normally. It's a Sunday and this would be one of the heavier days, but it's a lot better, I would say, than where I'm staying down south. They're reporting a lot of really bad areas up in I think Clearwater, St. Pete area, that the business is really bad in the big touristy areas, which is like Treasure Island area and things like the Paso Grill. So yeah, like I said, it's not bad out here, but it just fluctuates so much. You just really have to check on the internet and look at those like Weather Channel maps to see how the concentrations are. So I'm gonna head off to Longboat and see what that looks like.